Hi, this is Judge Dodell. The last number of weeks we've been talking about insurance claims because of the recent fires in Northern California, Southern California, and other casualty losses. And I specialized in property and casualty insurance litigation for almost 40 years, or maybe even more than that. And we've talked about anatomy of a trial previously as well, to tell you what goes on in the courtroom, starting with jury selection, which is the first thing that happens when the public is involved, other than the parties meeting prior to trial in chambers to make decisions. Then we talked about opening statements and how important they were, and they really are. Then we talked about evidence, the rules of evidence, what gets in and what doesn't, because the court can only decide cases based on what's called admissible evidence. In other words, something may be relevant, it may be perfectly proper, but it may violate one of the rules of evidence, such as hearsay. And we talked a lot about hearsay in the show For the People, which is available on iHeart. And I think we even talked about it during one of the YouTubes that we shot. Hearsay is an out-of-court statement made by someone offered for the truth of the matter. And then we talked about closing arguments, were they really effective or necessary at all? And then we talked about jury instructions, which is what the court tells the jury that they need to consider in determining a verdict. So part of the discussions dealt with evidence, and I want to go into a little bit more detail as to what kind of evidence seems to be the most effective. I tried 99 jury trials, not counting those when I was a deputy district attorney. And so I've got a little experience on what seems to sell and what doesn't. I haven't always been right, but just a general consensus over the years, I have found that demonstrative aids makes all the difference in the world. What do I mean by a demonstrative aid? It means something that you appeal to the senses of the jury. One case I had dealt with an inventory in a fire that burned the business down to the ground. And there were two ways to determine the inventory. Either you counted it from what you could identify, or you used the books and records, where the insured identifies how much they had and what it cost and the rest. Most of those books are never really accurate because some people will deal with cash transactions and not put it on the books. But those are generally commercial losses. What I did is I brought in a big bowl of jelly beans, and I covered it with a towel. And I pulled the towel off after telling the jury there were two ways to determine what it was, because obviously the books and records had less value. And I just poured out the jelly beans on the table, and they came pouring out, and I counted them, 1, 2, 3, whatever, and I said, isn't this a better way? We had somebody count versus the books and records. In another case, we used 2 glasses. My client had been in 5 prior automobile accidents, and so the insurance defense counsel was trying to make much of it and say, look, she was hit 5 times before. So what I did is I went out and I bought 2 glasses, one which was cracked already, I got it from Pier 1, and the other which was not. Brought it to the table, covered it with a towel, pulled it off, had a little hammer, a little tap on the one with the crack in it. It broke easily. I tapped the same force on the other, nothing happened. And then I argued to the jury something called the thin-skulled plaintiff. I said because she had been priorly injured and she had already had these conditions, she was more susceptible with a less of an impact. So demonstrative evidence, whenever you can use it, whether it's in the form of blow-ups or drawings or videos or emails, whatever it is, it tends to be more impressive to a jury. You want to know more about any of these subjects, contact me at askjudgeherb@gmail.com, or you'll find a lot of it in the book, From the Trench to the Bench, Navigating the Legal System and Finding Your Spiritual Path Along the Way, available on Amazon.